Hey, so Elden Ring's been out for some time, and I thought I would wait a bit before doing something like this with like a tier list. But I thought it would be fun to rank all the Shadow of the Erdtree bosses.
Such as it is, this battle could not be more fitting. For the birth of a new god, and the coming of a lord.
Now, looking at the boss list here, I fought and killed all of them, with the exception of the Great Red Bear. I didn't see that anywhere on the map, but by that logic, I'm going to put the Red Bear in F, just because I never fought it. I'm sure the boss is fine. It looks cool by design, but I never got to it. So I don't. And same with this one. Wait, what? I didn't realize there was two. Interesting. I don't know how I didn't find them. All right, and Radahn's going to go at the back here because I have things to say about Radahn. Oh boy. So let's start Ancient Dragon Man. I fought Ancient Dragon Man early. Obviously, you get invaded by him first. Obviously, he's taken the Dragon Communion, so he's shot the Dragon form. Fight's pretty simple. I like the Great Katana that you get from him. I used that for quite a little bit until I got the Rakshasa, and we'll talk about that in a bit as well. But his katana came in clutch against Bale. Simple fight. I like his sort of like the dragon magic that he uses. He hurts a little bit, especially when I was early on. He was a little underleveled in terms of my Shadow Tree fragments. But Ancient Dragon Man was fine. Just for the katana, maybe a C. Ancient Dragon Senesex. Kicked my ass for a little bit until I figured it out. Camera fight in dragon fights, camera is always your worst enemy, and especially with Senesex, who just hits so hard when he does hit you. Really cool design though. Love his design. Love the red lightning. One of the better dragon fights across the entire FromSoft. But ultimately, do I like it more than Dragon Man? I think I do. It's another C. Bale. All right, we have our first S tier. Bale. First time you hear about Bale, obviously, is through Igon. He's obviously the NPC that you follow along. He's cursing Bale when you first find him. He's injured. You follow that quest line. Eventually, you get to Bale. And Bale's design. He's obviously like, look at, like, obviously you can't see in the image here, but his wings are like damaged. Obviously, his fight with Plasudasex. He's missing a leg. He looks mean. He looks old. He's one of the oldest, right? Or the oldest. And then that transition into the second phase. I'm not kidding when I tell you that I had goosebumps and tears, like happy tears, like I was tearing up of joy. So yeah, Bale was top tier. Bale easily into S. First S. There's going to be a couple on this list. That's just FromSoft style. Black Knight Erdtree that's the Twin Blade, right? Pretty simple fight. It's just a standard Black Knight fight, right? You see them around the map. Gives you obviously the nice weapon, the Twin Blade. I probably prefer that one to the Guru fight. Although the Guru has that weird like frog grab. Very strange. I'd put Black Knight Erdtree into D, Guru to E, just because there were some pretty simple fights. You know, you fight plenty of Black Knights around the map. Nothing wrong with them. Black Gale Knight. Now, I didn't see the mausoleum. I went right from the start, went through, saw the fire giant, kept going. So I came back to it, and I was pretty over leveled for this fight. the fight was easy for me. His armor set and sword is very guts inspired, right? Is that I saw people saying, but it's a really sick armor set. It weighs a ton, a really slow roll, even with my high armor. But a really cool fight. I hear he kicked a lot of people's ass. But for me, it's another C, I think. Chief Blood Fiend. Ooh. I might rename. Hang on, while I'm here, I might rename. Didn't face. Didn't face. Will do. Yes, Chief Blood Fiend. Just a bigger version of the blood guys that you see. You get blood fiends. Fairly simple, fairly easy. Don't really get much for it. I think he's fine. Yeah, these are some of these are just very easy fights. Commander guys. So in my little journal that I had going along the DLC, I had a little death counter. Commander Gaius killed me 57 times. He knocked me around for a bit. That boar of his hurts. And once I worked it out, it was okay. But it was a pretty cool fight. I like his design, like his magic attacks. Sometimes the hitbox was a bit weird. I liked the fight overall. But hey. Count Emir. Oh. What are the... was it my favorite quest line in the DLC? It might be, you know, the Fingers quest line. Because the quest line was so cool, his fight is very simple though. He got really cool like magic abilities with the fingers. But it was a very easy fight. But purely because of the quest line. It's really simple, isn't it? You can go and see. Curse Blade Labyrinth. Remember what Curse Blades? Didn't know the name of the enemy. You obviously fight plenty of them. Makes the arena dark. That's a pretty cool fight. I like the arena. I love the design of these enemies, and I like their attacks and spinning animations. They're a fun enemy to fight. Like, you know, you have to be on your guard, otherwise he will kill you pretty quickly. B. Dancer of Rena. Thick armor. I really want to start exploring the lore of the dancers. I haven't used the weapon. Obviously, it's a twin blade. Not a twin blade. A curved sword. But really cool armor. Dress. I did put it on my character for a bit. See how it looks. I like the flowing nature of it. A bit like Mesmer's Knights. The fire ones. But probably a D though, like, overall. Death Knight version 1 and version 2. What is the difference? For me, the versions were... I guess they had this... Oh, one used more... I mean, they still both had the grab and stuff. I like their design. I like that it's the little bit of Godwin lore that we got in the entire DLC. But I like them. I love their designs. I like their attacks. Very slow. And their armor set. You can get their armor set in one of the catacombs. But a really cool armor set. So, go into B, both of you. Deathright Bird. But stronger than the base game. Again, obviously a boss that we saw in the base game. Fought plenty of times. Not much difference. Probably goes into E. Although, did all the Deathright Birds in the base game have that really cool pattern on their wings? I don't think they did, but I really liked that. Yeah, Demi-Human Queen America. Easy fight. funny name, but ultimately just a very easy boss you come across, like many of the demi-humans that you fight. Same with Swordmaster Onze. Will destroy you if your guard is down though. Some of those attacks, maybe I was underleveled or maybe I was around the right level, I don't know, but will destroy you really quickly. Let's see. Okay, here we have another S tier. Would I have probably not above Bale? Oh, it's close. The Divine Beast dancing line is sick. Like the animations and the attack patterns is a wonderful. The soundtrack when you fight the Divine Beast is awesome. And then, you know, the fact that the Divine Beast can change up his, what's the word I'm looking for here? He can change up his elements. His elemental styles. You know, he switches the lightning to frost and to wind. It's really sick. Awesome fight to learn. Awesome animations. Just this, it's one that's going to stick with me. Honestly, some of the DLC as a whole had some of the best bosses across the entire FromSoft catalog. A Falling Star Beast. Obviously, again, it's another boss from the base game that we fought a million times. Fairly simple. Did destroy me at first because I just couldn't remember how to fight these guys, but see once again, but pretty easy. Furnace golems. Didn't know how to beat them at first. Was either you could call it laziness on my part or just laziness or just scared, fear. Just because you hit them and they did no damage, their health bar was huge and they hurt. But once you work them out, they're not too bad. I like the design and stuff, and they do give you some pretty nice items when you do kill them. And that grab attack that they do, that they chuck you into their furnace. Also the lore for these guys. America is just basically just threw all the haunts together to make these abominations. Did the haunts deserve it though? In the lore we've seen, they're a pretty sick design. Okay. Ghost Flame Dragons. Honestly, of all the dragon fights, as I said with dragon fights, the camera can sometimes be your worst enemy. These guys, I really do like the design though, and like their Ghost Flame, like the breath. Give me like, I don't know the vibe, but like just the dead necromance dragons. I'm pretty confident putting them in B as well. Looking at the bosses we have left, a lot of bosses are going to be going high now. With the exception of probably Jory. Jory was just a basic boss. Obviously the enemies that you see in the Abyssal Woods. Could probably go into D, Jory. Not much to say about. Although, obviously that area, the Abyssal Woods, is incredible. One of the favorite areas FromSoft have ever created. The Golden Hippo hurts. That spawn at the start, the way it just runs at you, I swear I could never dodge the grab at the beginning. Cool design. Never really seen a hippo as a boss fight. But I think a scene. The transformation to the porcupine. Yes, is that what it was a bit like, with all the spikes? And all the needles? Yeah. B probably. Jagged Peak Drakes. Obviously you fight a few of these. Again, it's another dragon fight. I probably wouldn't have them above the Ghost Flame Dragon. We've only got one in A so far, but we'll have a look at this again in a bit. Actually, you know what? I wouldn't have the Ghost Flame above the... Honestly, Ancient Dragon could already go to A. That's all. Dragon Peak, they could probably go to C. Again, because it's a standard boss, standard dragon fight. We fought a million dragons. Fairly easy fights as compared to these ones. These ones obviously have a bit more design to it, a few more attack patterns. These are just your standard dragon fights that we've seen a million times. Lamenta, interesting fight, a very easy fight. The item, obviously the head mask that gives you that you can transform into one is very strange. I wanted to move more about the lore, but obviously it was a really interesting fight. It obviously was on a timer. A gimmick fight, I guess. Pretty easy. But I really liked it. Whoop, this one. But it ultimately, you know, pretty good at the top of D. Alright. We're getting into some big bosses here. I'm gonna move these bosses to the front. Why is that? There we go. We've got some things to say about the last two bosses. Alright, Tree Sentinels. Obviously you get the Tree Sentinels when you get through the hinterland. It's gonna be a while to discover that place. Again, another boss that's just from the base game. A very reused boss. It's pretty standard. Pretty easy. The Red Bear, Red Bear, the claws. Those claws are sick. I would like to go through the DLC again on a New Game Plus and get another set so I could dual wield them. But they are really cool. I want to use them. Run around like Wolverine. Sick. I know there's similar claws to that in Elden Ring, but the armor design, pretty cool fight. Alright, we're getting into the spicy end now. Rakshasa. Obviously, Rakshasa hurt me a bunch. Maybe because I was getting over eager for the fight. Like I was going in when I shouldn't have. And that sword, obviously the armor, the way it works is it does more damage, but you don't stagger. And you take a bit more, you take more damage, right? When you're attacking. But you don't stagger and stuff like that, but you do more damage. Yeah. But that great katana is sick. I'm still using it now. To finish my first New Game Plus run. And I'll probably use that, and I'll probably use the armor set next run, and then I'll switch to something else. But Rakshasa, for the weapon, yeah, B feels safe. Alright, we'll go scatter tree avatar next. You're fighting a giant sunflower. That's basically what that is. Pretty weak, pretty easy boss fight. 3 phases. Honestly, I was surprised by that. Thinking about that actually. Throughout the entire DLC, we had pretty much no multi-phase, with the exception of maybe Midra, but that was very gimmicky. There was no multi-phase bosses. Obviously, bosses had other phases within their single life. But no, obviously the surprise when you finally kill the boss and you're all excited and they come back to life for the second phase. Obviously, Scatter Tree Avatar was pretty much the only one with 3 phases, but a fairly easy boss fight. Although the great chicken bone, or turkey leg, and people are calling it, the colossal weapon that you get from it, I hear is pretty fun. But yeah, I like the design, I like the arena. The music here is nice. The music overall in the DLC was phenomenal. I Scatter Tree Avatar go into A. Alright, yeah, we're really in like the heavy hitters now. This is where pretty much every boss from this point on goes into either S or A. For me, Petros at Night goes into an A. Probably at yeah, but around there feels right. Kicked my ass for a few hours until I learnt the patterns. Well, that's the satisfying part about these games, right? Is going in and really thinking, I don't know how to kill this boss. I don't think, like, you know, what am I doing wrong? And then you eventually realize, and you sit and you learn and you adjust. And once I learnt this pattern, like this boss and its patterns, it was so satisfying to, like, pretty much the run that I beat it, I only used 2 flasks. From like getting destroyed at the start, barely getting a hit in, to destroying the boss in turn. It was great. Mesmer, a sick design, sick boss. Would like to know more. No. Mesmer's awesome. Mesmer's lore is interesting. You know, going to purge the Haunted, but also being neglected by his mother. Obviously, there's so much so that It culminates in him basically abandoning her in our fight against him. Amazing design, great soundtrack. We're at the snake. I got the collector's edition of the DLC, so I got the statue. It's an amazing statue. The pattern and his spear. Let us say the patterns in the boss fight. We'll get to that. His spear is great, really fun to use. The weapon arts on it. But yes, his designs and patterns throughout the fight, dodging those was really satisfying. It was a really awesome to fight. That's what the satisfying part was. And I get a bit of a surprise, right? Like, I would have thought, you would have thought, like many, I probably thought Mesmer would be the final boss. Turns out he's just a boss along your way, which I thought was a really cool twist. Matia, Mother of Fingers, creepy boss with a sick arena and some sick lore. Not a hard boss. I killed the boss in 5 attempts. But a sick arena nonetheless. Really interesting. That's the way like the fingers, the greater wheel has like stopped communicating with the Mother of Fingers. That's what the arena sort of almost implicates, signifies. What's the word? Yeah, something like that. But a really interesting boss design, interesting lore, cool quest line, beautiful soundtrack. Beautiful soundtrack throughout that entire fight. Midra. Again, another boss with an amazing soundtrack. The boss that goes into S. That whole keep, Midra's Manse, was really cool to explore. Really haunting vibes, horror. Especially after coming from the Abyssal Woods with the Winter Lanterns. And that Frenzy Flame fight was cool to learn, but ultimately pretty easy as well. Once you learn it, you can stagger him and he takes a bit of bleed damage. I'd like to know more about his lore. Romina, Scarlet. Oh yes, this. That's what I was gonna say. This leads me to all like the major Remembrance bosses having really sick art direction. Obviously, Rowena has her dual swords with the fire and the carrion magic. Radahn has the holy damage with a bit of bleed and the color. Romina has her butterflies with the scarlet rot. Bale's like charged attacks in the second phase. Mesmer's fire. Mita's like almost like greater will magic. A lot of these bosses had really sick just art direction and colorful like natures to it, which I really liked. Ramuna was another one with her butterflies in the second phase. She powers up a little bit. Some of those attacks, when you literally look at the butterflies and the way they explode into the scarlet rot damage, thought was really sick. Creepy boss design with the centipede and the scorpion. I don't know much about the Ramina's lore. I need to go back and do that and how it might connect to like maybe Millennia or something. Not 100%, but I really liked that fight as well. It's an A. Now we come to the two bosses that took probably the most time for me. Rowena and Radahn. Rowena goes to the top of S tier. Radahn goes to the top of S tier. Rowena was a sick boss to just slowly learn, and it felt hopeless at times. Like going in constantly and fighting her and just getting destroyed every time. But slowly, bit by bit, learning the encounter, learning when to dodge. You're learning to dodge her like second phase, especially with the magic and the fire attacks. It took me over 60 attempts. Not as many as this guy, but we'll get to that. Awesome soundtrack is Renala's OST, but remixed. The lore was interesting. Went to the Shadow Realm to follow Mesmer. That's so some of her carrion royals followed her as well. Awesome armor. Sick armor, actually. Didn't talk about that enough. I haven't used her weapons. I'd like to give them a go, but awesome art direction. It well deserving of S tier. And then yes. Then yes. And General Radahn is back. I'm seeing a lot of mixed opinions online about this one, but I loved it. So it took me days to beat Radahn. It felt hopeless at times. I didn't want to change my build. I was still using the Great Katana. I thought about maybe using a shield. I had 16 Shadow Tree fragments at the time. I was level 16. I could have gone back and got more, but I was determined to just grit it out, learn the patterns. So Radahn Consort of Miquella killed me 700 times. 700 exact. On my 701st attempt, I finally got him. Amazing attacks. I don't know how you dodge in that second phase. That second phase just destroyed me for so long. Some of those holy attacks, I didn't know how to dodge, like when to dodge. I mean, I guess there was like a lot of visual noise, so sometimes it was really hard to see. But I really enjoyed the fight nonetheless. The one and only time I managed to proc bleed on Radahn was the attempt that I won, and it was the very last hit on Radahn. It was beautiful. Radahn, the soundtrack, the lore surrounding Radahn. Obviously it's Mohg's body, but Radahn's soul that is inside. And then Miquella, then Consort. And then the lore that, the vow that Radahn had with Miquella to be his lord. But again, then I've seen people make some good points that why did Radahn fight death so vigorously over in Caelid? Well, maybe his horse, he loved his horse, but again, the horse would go with him, right? If everything goes back to the Erdtree or the Shadow Realm. And then obviously we've seen like what Millennia said to Radahn in that fight. So the lore surrounding it's also, I was surprised that he just looks so much like, it's obviously it's Mohg's body, but he looks so much like Radahn. So I guess that's just the thing that maybe I was curious about and how that works overall. But yeah, Radahn was an incredible fight. Loved it from beginning to end. The hardest boss I fought across the entire FromSoft catalog now, without a doubt. Loved it so much. But yeah, that's the list. I want to go over it quickly and see if I'll change anything. Radahn at the top, Rolanna, yes. Mesmer, yeah, probably that's, yeah, I feel like that S tier is probably fine. Romina an A. Bitter an A. Again, I'm happy with that. Rakshasa, yeah, probably. I like those. Ancient Dragon Man. I'm liking how I've got it so far. Maybe the Red Bear could come up a little bit. Then again, these are all simple. Yeah, so I would probably be pretty happy with that ranking, to be honest. Again, even though I've got some of these bosses in E and D, doesn't mean I didn't like them. Even these bosses I liked. That's just the beauty of Elden Ring. It's such a phenomenal game. Phenomenal designs that some of these bosses stand out so much over these ones. Actually, Ymir, just because of the quest, I could probably put Ymir at the back of me. Why not? Good. But this is the quest line that involves with it. It's a beautiful quest. Sad. Spoilers ahead. I picked the bad ending to the quest so I could get the katana. But yes. How would you rate this tier list? Who were your favorite bosses? Did you like Radahn? Did you not like Radahn? Would you agree sort of with this list or not? I'm probably going to go back now and face these two bears that I didn't face. Judging by bears and then previously, they'd probably go into like a D or a C at most. But yes, if you'd like to see more Elden Ring videos and lore videos, make sure to support this video, please, because I'd love to do more Elden Ring content and just FromSoft content in general. I'm planning and learning rune level runs. I'm over on stream. But yes, how would you rank these bosses? And if you'd like to see more videos to support the video, let me know. Yes, have a good one. Bye.